home of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. The museum contains art collected from Europe, Asia, and the United States. It includes a collection of paintings, tapestries, and sculptures that are seen by thousands each year. The museum became victim to one of the greatest art thefts in history on March 18, 1990. The thieves only stole 13 items, but they were valued at over $500 million. That night, 2 new security guards were on duty. One of those was Richard Abath, who had recently dropped out of music school. Abath would often come to work drunk or stoned after a performance by his rock band, but he insisted he was sober that night. The fire alarm went off on the 3rd floor of the museum at 12:54 a.m. Abath went to investigate, but did not find a fire. Later that morning, at 1:24 a.m., 2 men wearing Boston police uniforms waited outside the museum and rang the buzzer to gain entry. Abath was working the security desk at the time. The 2 men said over the intercom that they were responding to a call of a disturbance and needed to get in to investigate. With it being St. Patrick's Day, Abath believed the officers' requests were legit. He buzzed the men in through the employees' entrance, which was a violation of museum policy. The 2 men went to Abath's station, where one told him that he looked familiar and that he thought there was a warrant out for him. They brought Abath from out behind his station, where the alarm button was, and made him stand with his hands against the wall. They then cuffed him. At the same time, the second guard appeared and was also arrested. The second guard asked why he was being arrested and received a reply that would chill them. He was told he wasn't being arrested, but that this was a robbery. The thieves scoured the museum for nearly an hour and a half, leaving the museum with 13 works of art, including several works of Rembrandt, Vermeer, and several other valuable artifacts. There are many theories as to who the thieves were, including mobsters, the Irish Republican Army, and a Hollywood screenwriter. To this day, the thieves remain at large. The museum posted a $10 million reward for information on the heist. In 2013, the FBI stated that they had solved the case. They believe some of the artwork was moved to Connecticut and Philadelphia by the perpetrators. They identified the thieves as working for a criminal organization. 4 individuals are the primary suspects, and 2 or more of them actually committed the crime. While the FBI said they knew who the suspects were, no one was ever arrested, nor their names revealed. However, there are several likely suspects in the case. The first is Robert Donati. Robert Donati was a thief who had spent time behind bars. While the FBI never said he did it, others have implicated him in the theft. Donati was murdered in 1991. He was stabbed to death multiple times. His body was found in the trunk of his car. A California screenwriter, Brian McDevitt, is also a possible suspect. He had been implicated in a robbery in New York in the early 1990s. He had also tried to hijack a Federal Express truck. He was convicted and spent several months in jail. McDevitt died in 2004. The Merlino crew consisted of Carmelo Merlino, George Reisfelder, David Turner, and Leonard DiMuzio. It is believed that all were involved in the heist. DiMuzio and Reisfelder both died in 1991. Merlino was arrested in 1999 in an FBI sting operation. He died in prison in 2005. None of the men ever admitted to the theft. While not directly involved in the physical theft, Robert Guarente is thought to have had some of the artwork at some point. Guarente had ties to the mafia and died in 2004. Interestingly, his wife said that Guarente had given 2 of the paintings to a Connecticut mobster. In addition, when the FBI searched his home, they found a list of the stolen artifacts. William Youngworth Jr. was an antiques dealer. He claimed to have 2 pieces of the stolen artwork in 1997. Youngworth negotiated with the FBI for him to return the pieces. But the deal fell apart at the end of the year, when his possession of the works could not be substantiated based on fragments of paint from the art. However, several years later, it was found that the paint was consistent with that used by 17th century artists. Richard Abath was one of the security guards during the heist. He insisted he played no role in the theft, but an analysis of motion-activated sensors showed that the thieves were never in the first-floor gallery. The only motion detected was that of Abath. He could be the only one to have taken Manet's chaise tortoni. It also shows that Abath opened a side door before the thieves arrived. While this list of suspects is intriguing, they were never connected directly to the crime. The artwork has yet to be recovered.